All right. Forgot to upload this video. Had a busy morning. So uploading it now. All right. It's still early. So want everyone to pay attention to what I'm looking at right now. All right. I forgot to mention this inside the video that I dropped earlier this morning around 6 a.m. Um, what we're looking at here is oil. All right. Crude oil. Crude oil is a lot different from sweet oil. All right. Crude oil, it does everything for us. All right. From the gas that we put in our cars, shipping, manufacturing, transportation, less things like airlines, diesel to get our products, everything across America. I mean, you pretty much name it. That's what it does for us, right? We all know. So when this rises, we tend to spend more on gas. And we end up kind of paying the cost for that. All right. Now with what I mentioned in the video earlier on today, all right, that I dropped earlier, China is pretty much shutting down. Shutting down. Let me go ahead and look that up again before I just completely butcher it. China's government has told the country's largest oil refineries to suspend exports. All right, it was exports of diesel and gasoline. All right, a lot of companies' profits they can drop. So this has a big effect on the economy right now. All right, inside the market. All right, so as you could see, when you see oil rise like this, granted, they come back down. But when you start to see it get volatile like this is not good at all whatsoever. All right. These are big red flags. All right. Oil does not move like this. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they have no idea what they're talking about. And they don't really fully comprehend what is going on in the market right now. All right. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right. We're moving at rapid rates right now. Oil is rising like crazy. All right. And we know that because it was at $67.43. When was this? The 27th of February. All right. Let me go ahead and mark that down. All right. 27th of February. Look at how we move before that. Do you see these small movements? Oil does not move so violently. All right, it's not volatile. All right, they typically like to keep oil at the same rate. All right, not the same rate, but around the same price. It fluctuates a little bit here and there. All right, because that determines a lot about how they conduct business. All right, how much are things going to cost? How much fuel is going to go into this? How much are we going to need to power these plants to get these things sent out? I don't know what they use oil for. All right. Do I look like one of the guys in suits? All right. One of the elites? No. All right. I just read the chart for you. All right. But as you could see, time and time again, oil does not move like that. Anytime you see big violent spikes, that is not good. All right. I'm pretty sure we can go back and track what happened here. All right. But we're not going to. But do you see the kind of movement oil has? All right. So let's go ahead and let's just take it back, right? I'll break it down on the daily. And right now, oh, let me get rid of this. That scared the shit out of me. All right. Let me change this on real quick. All right. We're currently reaching very, very detrimental levels, folks. All right. We can see price around this area. All right. Let me go back and let's find a good, like, do you see in this area right here? Turn this magnet off. Do y'all see that? You see price right here. It taps out, reverses, it shoots above right here, reverses. I mean, this is a line. I haven't even drawn it yet. All right. But this is where price is currently at. All right. We get around that price area again. We reject right there. Okay. So this is how we find our level for oil. All right. And when things are going to get pretty nasty, we just look all the way back to the left and we see when it first broke out. All right. I'm pretty sure we could go back. Yep. We can go back this way. I like to take it all the way back, as far back as possible. All right. Because as you could see, I cannot make this up. This is probably that first level that we see where it faces rejection, but the next time we get above it, it shoots up. That's back in '07, folks. 2007. All right. That's how far back we have gone. And as we can see, when it gets above that price, we start to see action. We start to see things move up. All right. This is when things get dangerous. This is when things start selling off. I mean, we are looking at, I don't want to say a crash. All right. Everyone out there is pretty much with the clickbait. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'll use that, title it that, and look at that just to get y'all's attention. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the first time that we've seen it reach that first rejection, and there you go. Because you know why? We know how oil moves. Oil doesn't move like this. All right, it's not natural for this commodity to be moving as such. All right, so we're definitely gonna go back and we're gonna make this a level. All right, and we're gonna make this a strong level right here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mark this out. Let me see. These are things that you absolutely need to be keeping track of. All right. I don't care what no one says. I don't care what your mom says. I don't care what your grandma says. I don't care what anybody else says. I care about the cold, hard facts. All right. We lose. Look, we mount, we shoot up above, we lose that support, we fall back down. We're teetering on the brink of it. As you could see, we get above it. Boom. We keep finding support. It bounces. It bounces. It's not rocket science, folks. All right. We lose that support. We come down and we've been below. All right. Life has been good. Look how low that got in 2020. We got up above. Now we're back to playing on the tightrope. All right. We lose it again. We shoot up above. All right. With tensions that are rising in Iran, in China, all of that good stuff. With the war, that's not good stuff. All right. I'm just want to iterate that. With everything that is going on right now, this is exactly what you don't want. All right. We will see oil begin to skyrocket. All right. It'll begin to skyrocket. This is not what we want to see. All right. We want to see rejection if you want to see the market continue to move up. All right. If you're in puts, if you're shorting the market, this is exactly what you want to see. But I'll tell you what, your cost of living is going to go up. All right. Now we can pretty much start to look beyond the horizon and see that, hey, I might have to start penny pinching and start using those rewards here pretty soon. That way I can start getting, utilize my free gas because it's about to get ridiculous, right? So we get above this price right here, 78.40, which we're currently at 70 right now. That's when we start to see it rise. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna mark out this level for y'all. This is not good for the market. All right. This is we definitely don't want to see this kind of stuff. All right. I'm not gonna make that a strong level. We'll just give that a normal price level. All right. Um, so if you're me, I'm looking for a pullback. All right. I'm looking for a pullback. That's generally what you want to see if you want the market to continue being bullish. All right. If not, then if we don't get that pullback, which we probably will, just to retest that level, retest 78.40. After that, we're headed for 85.39. All right. Is that saying that that's what it's going to do exactly? No. All right. But with the way that things are going and tensions rising in China, the Middle East over there in Iran, I mean, this is what I don't even want to say projecting, but we have some type of gauge. All right. When we have a certain gauge set for this, now we know exactly what parameters we're looking within. All right. Now, that'll help us gauge on whether we short the market, whether we get into calls, whether we get into longer calls, whether we get into shorter calls, whether we get into longer puts or shorter puts. All right. This is going to help us determine a bias as to what stance we're going to take when we're playing inside of the market. All right. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this. Y'all definitely need to keep your eyes on this. Use this ticker symbol right up here at the top left corner. All right. So y'all be sure to go ahead and look that ticker symbol up. Hold on, let me give it to y'all better. All right, U.S. oil, simple as that. Okay, I save it on my own watch list. Got it under market health. I categorize everything. I try to be as organized as possible. All right, you can't just go in and just have things scattered everywhere. All right, so U.S. oil, that's going to help you determine a lot and what's to happen next. All right. So we're currently sitting at 79. I mean, this thing's pushing right now. So I'm expecting a pullback. Longer term puts, if y'all are in those, it's looking good for y'all right now. All right. Just be wary of what you play. All right. And I'm going to try to keep y'all updated now on this more often and more frequent, like how I do with the NASDAQ, with the VIX, and with the Qs. Okay. So this is something that we definitely want to keep an eye on. All right. This is no bueno. We could see VIX starting to rise here as well, too. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. We're at 23.44. We get above 23.44, not looking good. All right. Not looking good at all whatsoever. We want to go ahead and actually uh, determine about what you're gonna start playing and how you're investing. All right. If you're buying shares, things will always come back up. All right. You're not gonna be screwed out of that. All you have to do is average down, buy more shares. Things are looking good to the upside. All right. If you're in options, this is where it can really, really hurt you. So be careful and be wary about the positions that you do get in. Okay. So as you can see, we get a pullback, but we get a pullback to that 50% median right here. All right. This yellow dashed line that we're looking at right there. All right. We get that. We find support right there. All right. I have not touched this. I have not changed it at all whatsoever. All right. We get that. And we're continuing to find support here at 21.23 at the 50% median. And we're coming up again to 23.44. All right. These levels are not been tampered with. Y'all can go back, look at the videos. I mean, it's just a track record. All right. I started making these videos so that way I can hold myself accountable and show y'all exactly why these levels matter. All right. How to find these levels. Okay. That way y'all could go back, look back on it and be like, hey, you know what? Fact checked you. You haven't messed with nothing. You've been doing everything I've been paying my due diligence, and I hope y'all are paying y'all's due diligence as well too, taking notes and actually understanding what we're looking at. All right. So you have these levels marked out. All right. So we get above 23.44, it's gonna get ugly. Headed back up to the 30s. All right. This thing is not cooling off. All right. It's just coiling up, building pressure, and it's only going higher and higher and higher. All right. Folks, this is not rocket science. All right. To some people it is. It doesn't have to be complicated. It is complicated. It can be complicated, but it is simple and it can be simple. All right. You just have to understand and just actually invest your time into this. All right. This is your investments. You're investing your money. You're investing your time. All right. You're investing yourselves into this video, into the Discord, into the economy, into investing into bettering yourself. All right. It's a lot of investing. All right. But I mean, it's what we're all here for. Right. So got my morning coffee now. All right. Y'all saw me with the bully. So please, folks, please take notes. All right. That's pretty much it. This is a separate video. So if y'all have any questions or anything like that, shoot me a message in the Discord and I'm going to get back to y'all. Okay. So have a good one, folks. And let's go get that money. Time for me to go to work, baby.